6:04, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio. Hey, Brian here with you. JP producing. We're starting off your Tuesday morning at 62 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Not nearly as refreshing as yesterday morning. But I'll take it. I will. We'll continue to inch that way towards fall and then towards winter. And put some of that hot weather behind us and everything that comes with it. All right, we got a busy show lined up for you today. I don't know if there's going to be an overall theme, but redistricting. If there is an overall theme, redistricting will be it. We're going to talk with Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics. We're going to talk with Beau Beaullieu about the special session. We're going to visit with Congressman Troy Carter as well before it's all said and done. But before we get to everything else, we start off with top stories and trending.
Number 5.
Inching closer towards becoming a named storm, and if it becomes a named storm, I believe it will be Michelle. There is, okay, here we go. From the National Hurricane Center. Satellite radar and surface observations indicate that the broad area of low pressure over the central Caribbean continues to become better defined, with winds near 45 miles per hour, though it still lacks a well-defined center. Environmental conditions are forecast to become more conducive for development, and a tropical storm is expected to form later today while the system moves slowly into the central Caribbean. We're looking at a 90% chance that we see one more named storm, at least one more named storm, but one more named storm later on today.
Number 4.
Southern University coach Terrence Graves has been fired just days after the Jaguars' homecoming game loss brought the team to a 1-6 record. Graves, who took over Southern's football program in December of 2023, led the Jaguars to an 8-5 season last year. Southern co-offensive coordinator Fred McNair will take over as interim head coach after Graves' departure.
Number 3.
With less than a month to go before Election Day, Secretary of State Nancy Landry has some reminder dates for residents, namely the deadline to register a vote is October 25th. That is what? Is that this Saturday? Yeah, I'm not going to do the math in my head, but yeah. Early voting will run from November 1st through November 8th, and the deadline to request an absentee ballot will be November 12th.
Number 2.
Government services for St. George residents were supposed to completely transition from EBR to the newly incorporated city last week, but the deadline has now been extended a little bit further. The new date for St. George to take over public works and infrastructure maintenance will be November 1st.
Number 1.
Food stamp administrators across the country have been sent a letter raising concerns that recipients might not receive their SNAP benefits in November if the government shutdown doesn't end. About 1 in 5 Louisianans receives food stamp benefits, which is around 850,000 residents who could go without those benefits next month. What you got, JP?
Well, demolition is underway on the east wing of the White House as construction begins on a new 90,000 square foot ballroom.
Okay, I'm going to do this once, and then we'll just move on. It's privately funded. That should answer any questions about why are we wasting government dollars on this? There's a shutdown going on. We can't pay TSA workers, but Donald Trump can build himself a party house. Yeah. It's privately funded.
It is. He goes on to say, he actually quotes, I'm honored to be the first president to finally get this much-needed project underway with zero cost to the American taxpayer.
That is correct.
So,
that is correct.
It is not coming out
privately funded.
Yes, that's right.
Again, for the people in the back. It's privately funded.
In other news,
it's not going to stop the hate posts.
Oh, no.
It's
of course not. People feed on that.
And the thing of it is, like, decades from now, it's going to be like, it's going to be such an accepted part of the White House for everything from, within our nation to international. And like, when it's going to be a game changer as far as like the level of what the White House actually brings to us, the people.
That's right. Thinking long term here.
By the way, hang on. Before you move on from the president, how cool was it seeing the Tigers there yesterday reenacting the Get the Gat video from the 2019 LSU football team? Man. I thought that was cool. They didn't have the chick in the white dress, but everything else about it was awesome.
Still,
a lot of
good stuff, man.
the president talking to Kate Anderson. Oh, I'd make so much money off of you. Oh, man.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Man. In other news, Amazon Web Service experienced a major outage early Monday that disrupted popular platforms like Snapchat, Pinterest, Venmo, and Apple TV.
Yeah. I didn't
Man.
notice. Did you notice?
No,
Honestly,
I didn't. Apparently, it was about 3 hours long.
What?
Yeah.
That's long.
It wasn't until 6 p.m. Eastern time that services returned to normal operations. So,
Okay.
let's see. Amazon said, okay, never mind. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't affected by it. If you were affected by it, sound off in the chat on Facebook. Let us know. But yeah, other than that, I didn't notice a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, in other news, Big Time Rush, the Nickelodeon sensation from 2009 to 2013, is set to perform at the Raising Cane's River Center in Baton Rouge on February 10th as part of their Big Time Rush in Real Life worldwide tour.
I've never heard of these people. Did I just miss out?
I think we missed it.
Okay.
I think we missed.
I don't know who
the
Big.
rave.
I know who. So, and it's not. This is not like a knock against.
No.
But like WBRZ posted that as a story, which, by the way, I'm gonna have to start to wonder if they're getting it cut off the ticket sales. But WBRZ posted this as a story as if I'm supposed to know who these people are. Now, I am too old to know who that is, but my kids would have come up right in that time.
That's what I'm thinking.
Big Time Rush. I don't. And here's the thing. I don't know Big Time Rush. I know the Fresh Beat Band. The Fresh Beat Band was on Nickelodeon at the same time.
There you go.
So how do I know one and not the other?
I mean, the boy bands like BTS, I knew them.
But
Big
they were
Time Rush,
on Nickelodeon. They're
I know.
like
I didn't.
right.
What would that be the equivalent to? I guess
The Monkees.
The Monkees. There was this band in the early 2000s. They had an MTV show together, but it was kind of like a mockumentary
like,
of boy bands.
Yeah, it was like two.
It was like a
but it looked like
yeah.
To Get Her. The way it was spelled,
Yeah.
it looked like 3 words. Yeah. It was similar to that.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
But the overall comp for the full audience to understand, they're like the Monkees.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah, I don't know. I even looked up songs. I don't
for
know.
Big Time Rush.
Yeah, my kids, like I said, they might have missed it too. I mean, I don't know, man.
Do we want to celebrate the collection of their hits?
Their hit? I don't know, man. Yeah, but
all right. Well, coming to Baton Rouge, coming to the Raising Cane's River Center. Big Time Rush. If you know about them, we're live on Facebook right now. We are every morning. Yeah. Live on Facebook, courtesy of the folks over at Lake Urgent Care. Post up. Because I feel like I missed a chapter here. 2009 to 2013.
Yeah.
So, like, my oldest would have been from 2 to 5 years old. There's a lot of Nickelodeon watching in that time.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of Disney watching, to be sure.
Disney watching, Nickelodeon.
But Nickelodeon watching in there as well. So, like, if you know Big Time Rush, like, bring us up to speed here. We're the ones missing out.
Yep.
612 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We've got news. I'm sorry. We've got sports coming up after a quick break. Coach Brian Kelly met with the media yesterday. We'll have some audio from that. Before we take our break, though, got to remind you about the Baton Rouge Metro Airport was on flybtr.com yesterday. Booking it out, JP, getting ready for Washington Mardi Gras already.
Yeah, you excited?
So, well, yeah, mostly because I'm praying there's no blizzard this year. Remember that?
Yeah.
Golly, that was awful.
That
Remember
happened.
the work that the Baton Rouge Metro Airport got done just to get the runways back open, just to get everything back up and running? I mean, they put in the labor. Well, anyway, I'm booked. I'm ready to roll. Not yet. I still got to book my hotel. But my flight's ready to roll, thanks to the folks at Fly BTR, and thanks to the fact that they have a direct flight to Washington, D.C., leaves out in the 7 o'clock hour every morning, comes back in the evening. Well, I'll be coming back 3 days later. But feasibly, you can get your business done same day in our nation's capital. Check it out at flybtr.com. Got some audio from Brian Kelly next. because I have to record a bunch of things today, and I have to be done with work by 9 a.m. I know. I've got a funeral to go to and then a lunch to go to, and I'm not coming back after that. But yeah, funeral starts at rosary starts at 9:30. Funeral at 10. I need to send you 2 more cuts, by the way, for next segment.
Yeah, according to WBRZ, the band Big Time Rush plans to relive some of their favorite moments from the Nickelodeon show by playing every song from every episode. So now I'm looking up episodes. There's over 50 episodes.
If they played 2 songs an episode.
Right, like, no way.
We're going to be here for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Oh, man. Here we go.
.616 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. It is sports time. So yesterday, Coach Brian Kelly met with the media. Right out the blocks, he has gone back. He has watched the film. He took another look at the loss to Vandy. Here was the revised and extended remarks.
There's a lot of things you can point out in the game, but it really boils down to kind of what I talked about after the game. It really hasn't changed much after I've watched the film. We had 49 offensive plays, and we needed to be better in scoring zones. You know, we settled for field goals. They got touchdowns. And that ultimately was the difference, other than the fact that, you know, defensively, we needed to get off the field in certain situations. And, you know, that's why the plays were, you know, 49 to 67, 68. You know, you almost had a 20-play differential between the two.
Is this the norm now? Is this where we're going to be moving forward, where every game's a crapshoot? And I don't feel like it's just us here in Baton Rouge with LSU. And I know we have a different standard, and we hold our coaches to a different standard as well. But when Vanderbilt is a ranked team, a very highly ranked team at this point, when you've got Vandy in that number, when you've got whatever university wants to dump a whole bunch of money into NIL, puts themselves in that mix. Now you've got your traditional powers. You get your old money and your new money, and there are no days off. And perfection is not attainable. I know as the sun comes up, the sun goes down, the sun comes back up again. Everybody's wounds start to heal a little bit. And the breakdown yesterday throughout the day included takes like, well, you know, LSU's 2 losses are both on the road to ranked teams, and they lost both by like 1 score, and a play here, a play there. Is this where we are now, to where this has to be the acceptable norm? I tell you what, we're going to hold some of these cuts over till the next segment as well. Do I have? I don't have the time here. I'm looking. Yeah, I got 30 seconds. I don't have the time. All right, we're gonna have to hold this over to the next segment, which means we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about LSU's lack of physicality and an inability to move with the Capitol, because we're talking government shutdown next as well. So right now, it's time to check in with the Fox Business Report. I'll have your check of traffic in just a quick second. We will continue. Don't forget Jeff Crouere coming up at 6:35. Get you caught up on everything going on down in New Orleans, and then 7:15. Looking forward to this. Beau Beaullieu previewing the legislative session. Here's Fox Business Report. Oh, holy hell. For Rouses, just say Rouses. Thank you. Oh, as opposed to Rouse's Supermarkets. I got you. Good note, Cade. Good note. LSU women's basketball starts Thursday night. Exhibition games. And I got to record the billboards. And I've got to record my promo for Wednesday. And I've got to see if Richard Sprinkle can fill in for Franz. Because Franz is gallivanting all over the planet. You know what? After 7 a.m. Don't text people before 7 a.m., dickhole. What? It's a douche move. Hey! All right, I've got this spot to cut as well. Ugh. Let's go.
Byron says, I don't know the group Big Time Rush, but it is now going to be my name for a vodka and Red Bull drink.
I like that. That's legit. We should use that.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Previously, the vodka and Red Bull has been known as, honey, have you seen my pants? I missed the Lego movie. The Lego movie was so good.
Yeah, man. The Lego Batman movie was cool, too.
This thing keeps resetting on me. Son of a biscuit. Okay. Hang on. Be careful what you wish for. All right, let's head on back to the traffic center real quick, which means sitting exactly where I am. It's slow going coming over the bridge. 10 eastbound coming in from West Baton Rouge Parish. As you make your way on the upslope of the bridge, you're going to hit the brakes a good deal, and you're going to stay on those brakes all the way through, my goodness, almost to the 10-12 split. It is stop and go on 10. Is that eastbound or westbound? Nope, I'm sorry. That's westbound. My apologies, y'all. 10 westbound is stop and go the entire way through the city. It starts just after the 10-12 merge, continues till you get to the other side of the bridge. That my bad. I was looking at the map backwards, and I apologize. We're also looking at I-110 southbound. There's is there an accident there? What do we got going on 10? It's stop and go, completely stop and go right now on 110 southbound from, where are we at here? Gosh, way up by Weller, all the way to the Memorial Stadium curve. I mean, 110 southbound right now is really rough going. Backing things up on 12 westbound, you got your normal congestion right there. Nothing to worry about until you get to those delays on 10 westbound, and it starts right after the merge and continues the entire way through the city. So slow going on the interstate once you get into the city. If you can redirect around it, if you're coming in from Livingston Parish, you might want to think about hopping off and taking Florida Boulevard to get downtown. Meanwhile, surface streets, we've got accidents to look out for. Sullivan at Wisteria Lakes Drive, Coursey at Doral, and North 38th at Gus Young. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. Landmark Bank, landmarkbankla.com is their website if you want to check them out. Since 1897, they've been a community bank here to serve you, if you're in their community. Visit landmarkbankla.com to get a list of their branches or their locations and their hours, for that matter, as well. If you visit Landmark Bank, what you're going to get is a banker When you're dealing with a community bank, you're dealing with a neighbor, you're dealing with a friend, you're dealing with someone that you see when they're not at the bank, for that matter. You're dealing with someone who you could shake their hand, actually sit down, talk to, and get to know where it is you want to be versus where you are right now, and then how to get there. An actual banker. Whether you're talking about your personal banking or your business banking, you're dealing with a friend, you're dealing with a neighbor when you deal with Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. Back to it with Brian Kelly's press conference yesterday. Point blank question, or a pretty blunt question, I should say. Does this LSU team lack physicality?
Well, I think we need to be more physical. I think there's always the need for physicality, right? How you play this game really is about who you are. You know, football is a game of violent collisions. And certainly from an offensive line standpoint, you know, everybody's going to look towards the physicality there on the offensive line. Those are the best 5 guys we got out there. If we had, you know, another group, we'd certainly play them as well. So listen, everybody, you know, is going to look at this and has their opinions, and I respect everybody's opinion. But there's no doubt that anytime you evaluate your football team, the first thing you're going to look for is physicality.
There was a trend over the weekend with former LSU football players just tweeting left and right, this team is soft. That's the genesis of that question right there. And we saw it from multiple generations, or I should say multiple years worth of LSU football players. It wasn't just like all Nick Saban guys or all Les Miles guys. It was across the board. So numerous LSU players sounding off on the softness of this team. And yeah, football's about violent collisions, but it's also about leverage and push and drive. I mean, it's not just the collision. It's moving someone back against their will. They want to move forward. You want to move forward. Who's going to win that battle? That's the physicality right there. Let's get you one more. We'll cut 6 before we move on. When you look at your second loss of the season, when you look at one more, you're possibly done and all your goals are down the toilet for the year. When you look at things like that and you go through a little reflection, self-evaluation, what is LSU's most pressing issue right now?
Well, I think we've been doing it. I mean, look, we want positive outcomes just like our fan base wants, right? But our last 9 quarters of offense have been trending to where we need to be, right? We're running the football with effectiveness. You know, we're targeting the receivers that need to. We got to get Aaron Anderson probably involved a little bit more now that he's healthy. And then defensively, we need to continue to play like we have played in the first half. And if we do that, we get both sides of the ball playing complementary football. I think I've said it more than once that we haven't played that complementary football where both sides are hitting on all cylinders. We just haven't hit that point yet. So we'll continue to prepare our football team, work on the things that can help us get to that level. And it's an ongoing process that every day is a self-evaluation of what I'm doing, what our players are doing, what our coaches are doing. And we're taking all those hours to make sure we do that.
I'm getting tired of hearing complimentary football. Simply because if you address it in a press conference once, then you go out and solve it. You address it in a press conference twice, you continue to work towards solving it. This is feeling like a week-to-week thing, year-to-year thing, where why can't we get that solved? When you hear it over and over and over again, it remains an unresolved issue, and that's where fans' frustration kicks in. LSU's got Texas A&M this Saturday. I believe 6:49 p.m. is kickoff time. Look, in spite of a second loss, it should be a lit day on campus. It should be pretty great. We got 1 minute to go. Let's pivot over to the government shutdown. We're about to enter week 3. Congressman Troy Carter is going to join us later on in the show, actually in the 8 o'clock hour, 8:35 D.C. Current, presented by LABI. However, Congressman Mike Johnson, the speaker, was talking yesterday and mentioned really, he calls this a publicity stunt.
This was never about a solution. It was about creating an issue. Now that Democrats have had their protests and publicity stunts, I just pray that they come to their senses and end this shutdown and reopen the government this week. Republicans are waiting. The American people are waiting. And we are ready to act.
You got to believe it's going to come to a head soon. The polling numbers don't support the Democrats. And the overall picture of You're willing to sacrifice everything else the government does in order to hold out for health care. When SNAP benefits roll around, when TSA needs to get paid, when every government employee's mortgage comes due, you're willing to sacrifice all of that to hold out for health care. Get back in the game, put Republicans on the clock. Force Republicans to live up to their promise. Here's news. I sent him 3 topics. Gonna throw him a what? Flow chart? We're gonna get into that 650. I got to clean my coffee mug again. Everything tastes super tannic. I know. So I drink the coffee, I rinse it out, I put it back. I drink the coffee, I rinse it out, I put it back. Eventually you get buildup at the bottom of the cup and whatnot. It's just gross. Are the Saints bad enough to send people to Pelicans games? 637 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Every Tuesday we check in down in New Orleans with Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics. And Jeff, I think it's a legitimate question. Are the Saints bad enough to send people out to the Pelicans games?
You know, they're bad. There's one winning team down here. Tulane's pretty good.
Tulane is really good.
Only got one loss.
Well, you got to watch out, though, because coach is going to get snatched up by a Power 4 conference that's looking for somebody. He's on everybody's radar.
And it always happens.
Mm-hmm.
It always happens. Yeah.
But
so you have some success, and then he's gone. Unless they decide to make Tulane the next Georgia Tech or the next Vanderbilt, where they just put buku money in here and keep them.
Well, in the ever evolving landscape of the NCAA, as we're moving towards more super conferences and whatnot, I wouldn't rule that out. And ever since Tulane built Ullman Stadium and has taken like ownership of their own program, like it's when you have skin in the game, when you care, you put in that much more effort. And the program's been on a return to like it's back to the 40s. It's back to when Tulane was in the Southeastern Conference, to where the level of attention and whatnot. I mean, and it's as an LSU fan, it's fun to watch someone else in Louisiana care because you want to have an in-state rival, but nobody ever reaches up to that level. Tulane's the closest.
Right, and I think one of the good things is going to a recent game, to see the students there. I mean, in the past, these students could not care less. I mean, they weren't even involved, but they were there. They packed their section. They were enthusiastic, and that's just the benefit of having a stadium right there on campus,
right?
And having a good team,
right?
Obviously,
as opposed to heading down to the CBD and going to the Superdome.
Right.
If you're right there, you're right there. It makes perfect sense.
So it's it's a good year for them, and hopefully they'll keep on winning.
Let's hope. Pull out that American Conference and maybe get that G6 bid into the playoff. Well, I think they're one game out of that. We've got other things to talk about right now. Should we start off with the government shutdown? I mean, we're about to move into week 3 after today. I'm sorry, week 4 after today. Is it week? Yeah, we'll be opening week 4 after today. Is there a point where Democrats just cave on this and say everything else on the agenda outweighs the health care we're pushing for?
Right. And I do think that this has been a shutdown that the Democrats have gotten blamed more than normal, because normally it seems to be focused on the Republicans as being the party of blame. But here, of course, the Schumer shutdown, and I think the narrative is not as anti-Republican. So I think they're feeling some of the heat too. I'm talking to people that are federal employees, and they're going with that paychecks. One friend of mine with the U.S. Attorney's Office says he's dipping into his retirement, and that's not what you want. Obviously, these are people that are patriots and work hard, and so this has got to get resolved at some point. And I do think, the prediction is that possibly this will be the week where it happens. So let's hope so, because we need the government open. I mean, they're important services that need to be provided. They're critical functions. We have to deal with the spending at some point. We got to deal with the problems, and I think they can do that once they hopefully pass some kind of a clean CR, and then give themselves more time to deal with some of these conflicts that they have between the parties. I can't believe that the Democrats have pushed it this far. I mean, some were saying that they wanted to wait till the No Kings protest was over, and now it's over. So that's why I'm hearing about predictions that this will be the week where they open the government back up.
And by the way, side note, kudos to the No Kings protest, because it worked, which was just awesome to wake up Sunday morning without a king. It was really, really good work by those people. We got Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics, with us. Jeff, it's you say Democrats are catching blame. I don't know how Republicans could catch blame on this because the Democrats are the ones who voted no. It's like every other talking point is up for discussion, but it was such a take my ball and go home situation. It's like such a stomp out of the room situation. Now you talk about having time to negotiate everything. Every day that goes by is another day that they don't have time to get after things. It's another day that, like, if you're running out the clock on everything out there, I mean, there's only so many days in the year. So every day that you are in the shutdown is a day you're not negotiating, advocating for Medicare and Medicaid, advocating for health care for as many people as you can get it. Like, you can't work your cause if no one's in the same room.
No, I hear what you're saying, and that's a very valid point. So, yeah, they certainly have done this. This certainly is their creation. This is certainly something that they're 100% to blame for. The only reason I'm saying it's not a total disaster for them is because of the media. Obviously, the media is on their side, and they have that always to protect them. Republicans do not, and really get the focus of blame for everything. So this time it's more of a mixed bag, and I think that's what's different. But you're right, it's 100% the Democrats, and of course we know the reason. Schumer's worried about his left flank, and AOC's out there, and he's trying to be tough. A few months ago, he approved a clean CR, and they kept the government open. He doesn't want to, he got blasted for that. So he's trying to be Mr. Tough Guy. And of course, he didn't want to look weak before this rally that all these leftists were involved in. So I don't know. I'm hoping that this is the week. The Democrats, to me, don't look like they're in great shape. It's going to be interesting, Brian, to see what happens in Virginia and New Jersey, two states that are not super easy for Republicans. If they win one of those governor's races, that's going to be a big deal for the GOP.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And Jeff, you mentioned the media. Even the media is starting to turn on this one. I'm hearing more and more headlines at the top of the hour in radio and seeing more and more headlines online that are associating the Democrat shutdown. I mean, it's starting to pivot that way a good bit to where, everybody's all arrows are pointing in the same direction.
And if that happens more, then you certainly are going to see this thing end.
Yep.
Because they can't stand that. I mean, that'll be definite motivation to get this thing ended. But I don't know if you saw the CNN town hall the other day with AOC and Bernie. I mean, they're talking tough and saying we have all these healthcare issues and we need to be providing health care as a right, et cetera, et cetera. Health, Medicare for all. I mean, their usual talking point.
It's bad for your health? Not being able to pay for groceries because the government's shut down and your federal wage isn't coming to you. It's bad for your health? Getting evicted from your home in the winter time because you can't make your rent or you can't make your mortgage because the government shut down and you can't get paid. Like, they're sacrificing. I'm sorry. I know we've already been down the path, but that's how infuriating it is, man. It's like you're sacrificing every piece on the chessboard just to protect the one. And the one's not even the king. Because there are no kings.
They don't have a leg to stand on. They really don't. So, I mean, they are losing a rhetorical battle on this. I think you're right.
We got Jeff Crouere.
As they should.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah. It's show up, argue your case. And that's just show up, first and foremost. We got some stuff to talk about closer to home. Mayor-elect Helena Moreno is kind of putting together her team right now. What's that looking like on the transition side? Any positions we need to know about? Any tea that needs to be spilled?
Well, she's saying she's getting good cooperation from the Cantrell administration, which is good. Her team leaders, as far as the transition, are diverse. At an event Saturday night, I was talking to people, and there seems to be optimism about her, even among Republicans. I mean, the district that Donald Trump did the best in, I mean, she got like 75% of the vote, so she got total buy-in from Republicans, which is really an amazing achievement by her because she's a leftist, and the fact that she was able to really unify. I mean, getting strong black support, very very strong white support. That was impressive. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's some optimism about her, and we'll see. The CAO position obviously is extremely important, and all the other top administrative positions that she's going to be filling. She's encouraging people to apply. I think there's some, good feedback that she's getting very glowing coverage here from the local media. She's definitely in a honeymoon, Brian, definitely.
Is Moreno going to enjoy a longer than normal honeymoon because LaToya was just that bad?
Yes. Yes. She's going to get a long honeymoon. Sort of like Mitch Landrieu got a very easy coverage from the media here. LaToya was never on good terms. Neither Nagin had a honeymoon and then he lost it. So Landrieu never really got much pushback from the media. I think Helena's going to be the same way. I really do. I think she's going to get good coverage because she's obviously from the media.
Mm-hmm. Does that help her actually get things done, though? Will that translate into better results for the city?
I think so. She can communicate the needs that she has better. She's a familiar face. I think people trust her. People have a trust factor for people in the media, and especially one that's on their TV screen every night with the nightly news. So, yeah, I think she's viewed as an honest person, and she's viewed as someone people can trust. So that's going to definitely help her. She is, and Ron Fauché, who I respect, and a great pollster. I mean, he pretty much said that she ran a flawless campaign, which you got to give her credit because she's the quarterback of that.
Oh yeah.
So,
got about a minute and a half left with Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics. Jeff, I want to ask you about putting together that transition team. Is there any likelihood at all that she would tap into any of her top two competitors?
That's interesting. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, that's not what I'm hearing, but who knows? I mean, that'd be certainly a way to unify and put a broad-based team together. I think that the gentleman who was the Republican candidate, who's Frank Janusa, CPA, would have been tapped by one of the two African-American Democrats as a position in their cabinet. They both said it. They both said that they would bring Frank Janusa in to help them with the budget.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I think it's going to be something that will be happening relatively soon. She's hitting the ground running, not wasting any time. So I think we're going to be hearing some announcements real soon.
Last one before we get out of here. Here in Baton Rouge, when that weather dips down for fall a little bit, we appreciate it so much. Down in New Orleans, I mean, is this just the best time of year in the city?
It really is. I was doing I do my bike riding, and it was just awesome. I mean, it's just awesome. I'll tell you, it is so rare because, so often we're out there and it's brutal. But, and this is a big time of the year for New Orleans with Halloween. I mean, we're a big Halloween city, and this is a major event for New Orleans. So that'll be crazy over these next few weeks as we get up to Halloween. So it's a very, very good time for the city.
He is Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics, coming up 10 minutes from right now. Jeff, we always appreciate the time, brother.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Take
Later
care.
on. You too. Catch him on WGSO down in New Orleans. All right, we got to hit up your money now. When we come back, Moon Griffon and Jeff Landry got into it yesterday. We've got the highlights. 6:55, about to roll over to 6:56 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Got to remind you about the folks over at Breck. Breck.org is the home base. Be heading out to Breck's Highland Road Park this Saturday for the last cross-country meet of the season. Last time is the winter, the days get shorter. But tell you what, man, going out to Highland Road Park in the fall is amazing. You hit that little walking track, and you'll catch a nice cool breeze every once in a while, especially when you go around the side by the woods. Like if you're over there by the big pavilion, maybe not so much. But you get over there by the woods, it's somehow, I don't know why, it just gets a little bit cooler. And Highland Road Park, one of many great Breck facilities. And you know what? There's so much more to explore when it comes to Breck. They're tasked with being all things to all people in Baton Rouge, which that's a tough task. That's a tall ask. For example, one of the things that how about this? There's a full moon fete trunk or treat coming up this Saturday. How about that in terms of covering all things for all folks when it comes to Breck? Got a trunk or treat coming up. It's going to be this Saturday at Independence Boulevard, the Independence Community Park on Independence Boulevard. It's going to be October 25th from noon to 3 p.m. in Independence Park. So bring the kiddos out in costume. They got the trunk or treat going on. Learn more at breck.org. Governor Jeff Landry was on the Moon Griffon show yesterday. They were talking about the redistricting session. And really, well, you got to back it up a little bit. Talk about the redistricting session, but in terms of what do you expect to see? Because you're holding the session before you know what the Supreme Court's going to do. Moon asked the governor about that in terms of what are you looking for here?
I believe that the court really has two choices. They're either going to give us a map before the end of the year, give us a decision before the end of the year, or they're going to wait until the very, very last minute. Okay, now you got to remember, Texas, Indiana, Missouri, California, New York, all have done some unusual things, which has started to redistrict their congressional seats mid-10 years, mid-centennial, mid-decade, by the way, which is extremely unusual. There are suits that are being filed against those actions. So the court can either clear the deck before the end of the year, or they may wait to the very end of the term and deal with all those cases in 28. So here's where it puts Louisiana in. We have to move our elections at a minimum of 30 days. Mm-hmm. Why? Because if that will give us enough time so that if we get a decision by the end of the year, and that decision says that we no longer have to abide by the Jingles formula, and the court will require 2 majority districts in Louisiana, we can then draw a 5-1 map. We can go back.
We can then draw a 5-1 map, which would mean 5 Republicans, 1 Democrat, although it doesn't necessarily play out that way. It would be a map that would be more truly representative of the geographical regions that they represent. So we're going to have more from that coming up at the end of next hour. Governor Jeff Landry was on with Moon. And yeah, after that question and answer, that's when the fighting started. That's when Moon started. He started with a couple quick jabs and then went haymaker way too fast. We've got more highlights for you coming at the end of next hour. Right now, it's time for us to hit news, traffic, weather. Hour 2 is next right here on Talk 107.3 FM. All right, let me try this again, y'all. Guys, I apologize completely. Sorry, I was explaining this earlier in the show. I've got a funeral to go to immediately after the show, and the rosary starts at 9:30, funeral starts at 10, and then all the way through the burial, and then I've got a lunch to go to after this. So I'm not coming back to work after this. So I've got to get my entire workday done within the 3-hour window of the show. So I'm gonna be back and forth a good bit. Across the hall recording things. So I'll be right back.
see. What a Facebook crew. All right, while Brian's out, I know we usually do, we don't really do it as often as we probably should. But let's play a little Family Feud to kill some time, right? Name something people spend lottery winnings on. Let's do that. Name something people spend lottery winnings on. Sound off in the comments. Divorce. Okay. More lottery tickets. Okay. The question is moot. Oh, killing some time, man. Doing some little Family Feud. Name something people spend lottery winnings on. I'm seeing a divorce, lottery tickets.
More lottery tickets?
Yeah.
Hey, blow out the 7:55 topic. We're going to reinsert the Landry cuts there.
Okay. Did you hear about the couple? Speaking of lottery, I guess the reason why I was thinking about it because they used ChatGPT to get the numbers. They won $100,000.
I don't know what to do with that.
What are the chances of that? I mean,
The exact same as if they pick random numbers.
right. Exactly. It's not like ChatGPT would know. But yeah. Yeah, I just read that.
Let them do that 1,000 more times.
Yeah.
7:05 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now from the 180 Pros Studios. 180 Pros, your business IT partner. Brian here with you, JP producing. We have got, we're just so stacked up this morning, y'all. Busy hour this hour. We're starting you off at 62 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. State Representative Beau Beaullieu going to be on the hotline in our next segment. We got Sarah Gardner from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation joining us at 7:35 to talk about, honestly, everything that BRAF's got going on. I want to talk about the new headquarters, but we'll hear all that coming up later on in the show. Before we get you started with anything else, let's go ahead and hit up top stories and trending.
Number 5.
Southern University coach Terrence Graves has been fired just days after the Jaguars' homecoming game loss brought the team to a 1-6 record. Graves, who took over Southern's football program in December of 2023, led the Jaguars to an 8-5 season 2024. Southern co-offensive coordinator Fred McNair will take over as interim coach in Graves' departure.
Number 4.
With less than a month to go before Election Day, Secretary of State Nancy Landry has some reminder dates for residents, namely the deadline to register to vote is coming up on October 25th. Early voting runs November 1st through November 8th, and the deadline to request an absentee ballot will be November 12th.
Number 3.
Government services for St. George residents were supposed to be completely transitioned from EBR to the newly incorporated city last week. That deadline has now been extended a little bit further. The new date for St. George to take over public works infrastructure maintenance will now be November 1st.
Number 2.
Food stamp administrators across the country have sent a letter raising concerns that recipients might not receive their SNAP benefits in November if the government shutdown doesn't end. About 1 in 5 Louisianans actually receives food stamp benefits, so that's around 850,000 people who would go without SNAP next month.
Number 1.
We're looking at a 90% chance of having another named storm on the map. Satellite radar and surface observations indicate that the area of low pressure over the central Caribbean Sea appears to be developing a well-defined center, already producing winds up to 45 miles per hour. A tropical storm is expected to form later today. We are near 100% chance that we see this named storm before the day is out.
Well, demolition is underway on the east wing of the White House as construction begins on a new 90,000 square foot ballroom. So,
Privately funded.
privately funded. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. This is Trump goes on to quote this that there is zero cost to the American taxpayer. So,
I know.
will that stop
No, it
all
won't.
the nonsense
It
online,
won't.
all the madness?
It won't, because it's going to appear like something frivolous.
Yes.
And on the surface, I could see how it would appear like something frivolous.
Yep.
But it's not something frivolous.
That's right.
It's something that's going to be of value to the nation long after Donald Trump is gone. So it's, yeah.
This is going to host parties, state visits, like
State
you had
visits.
mentioned in the.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
A little bit more room when LSU comes to town, maybe some players.
Well, I mean, they could do the
Yeah.
get-together. Well,
There
they
you
like
go.
to do that in the Oval Office, I
Yeah.
think, or where, whatever room they were in.
Yeah. But still, this is something that they're thinking long term.
Yeah. Kind of
And-
like seeing the president like just really pumping up Kate Anderson.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting there going, that dude went to my high school.
That's it.
It's
It's cool.
brings it
right?
home, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Well, Amazon Web Service experienced a major outage early Monday that disrupted popular platforms such as Snapchat, Pinterest, Venmo, and Apple TV.
I didn't
And
notice.
I don't think
I
you
don't
and
e-
I were.
I didn't even
affected by it.
notice.
Yeah.
Well, the time that it happened, I mean, it didn't
Yeah.
affect the free side of Pandora. So, I mean, it didn't affect after further review,
yeah.
which was what I was dialed in on at that
Oh,
time.
man,
It didn't affect. Let's see, between those hours, it was AFR, the free side of Pandora, and another episode of Business Wars. So, if you didn't
Okay.
affect those three, that I was oblivious to everything else.
That's right. That's right. Good stuff there. Good stuff there. Hey, Big Time Rush, the Nickelodeon sensation from 2009 to 2013, is set to perform at the Raising Cane's River Center in Baton Rouge on February 10th as part of their Big Time Rush in Real Life World Tour.
Now, we were making fun last hour. We were making fun of the fact that we've never heard of these people.
Right.
Okay, but you've been doing some digging, and
Yes.
so they were on for a good 4 or 5 years, right?
Right.
Okay, and you were telling me they're going to play every song from every episode.
Yes. According to WBRZ, the band plans to relive some of their favorite moments from the Nickelodeon show by playing every song from every episode and being joined by fellow castmates throughout
so
the tour.
assuming, and they have 50 episodes,
Yeah.
assuming
Yes.
one song per episode, that's a long concert.
But
But if they had 2 songs per episode, basically bring a sleeping bag to the River Center.
Right. I mean,
Big Time
They're gonna
Rush
be
is
there
going to
a
be
while.
like Big Time hanging out until you Big Time
Oh.
get tired and Big Time go
Yeah.
home.
yeah. Who called for this? Who called for this?
I don't know. and the River Center's been killing it, man.
Right.
The River Center's been doing such awesome work. So look, not my cup of tea.
Yep.
Not my demographic. Not
missed
my.
it.
But the thing is, I would think it would kind of cross streams with when my oldest daughter was coming up.
Yeah.
But maybe not. All right. We got a break. After the break, we're going to dive into the upcoming special session with State Representative Beau Beaulieu. Before we take that break, though, let me tell you about something different in an IT partner. That would be the folks over at 180 Pros. They offer up simplified billing, which is basically a one-page invoice, which take a look at your IT provider right now. Go ahead and pull out that bill, okay? Pull out that chunk of a bill and take a look at the line items and the nickels and dimes and the hidden cost of IT. When you have an IT partner in 180 Pros, you are not going to get that kind of nickel and diming. They're here for the long haul, and they're here for you. Meanwhile, there's also this. They're locally owned. If you look at some of the bigger name IT companies in Baton Rouge, they are, from somewhere else who has a Baton Rouge office. 180 Pros is Baton Rouge owned. Check them out online, 180pros.com, 180pros, 180pros.com, or you can give them a call as soon as there we go. You can give them a call at 225-330-2200, 225-330-2200 for 180 Pros. Sorry about that. I just got back in the segment. No, you good. I saw your text. I was able to buzz you in. All good.
And you know what? I was mistaken, Facebook. That's actually like 50 songs just from the first 2 seasons.
Oh.
There were 2 other seasons, so 74 songs in total. There's no way.
No.
There's no way.
No.
Maybe throughout the tour, maybe, sprinkle some in there. But yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. wonder. Yeah. Right here. And make sure mics are down until we're. .714 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We got State Representative Beau Beaulieu in the House. Before we get to him, though, got to remind you about Vex European, VEX, that's V as in Vinny, VexEuropean.com. If you drive a European vehicle, Vex European has got to be your go-to, y'all. If you drive a Mercedes, if you drive a Jaguar, a Porsche, a Land Rover, hit up VexEuropean.com, the little drop-down tab where it says vehicles. If you see yours, you want Vex as a partner. Why? They have a specialist for your make of vehicle. If you drive a Jaguar, they've got a Jaguar tech, and that's unbelievably important, especially in the wake of Jaguar shutting down their Baton Rouge dealership. So hit up VexEuropean.com. Before you hit the appointments tab, look up the specials. See if we can't save you $100 on your first visit over at Vex European and VexEuropean.com. All right, Beau Beaulieu's in the house. How are you, man?
Wonderful. Good morning. Thank you all for having me.
No, I appreciate I didn't even know you were coming in this morning.
Well,
I thought you were going to be on the phone.
I was in Baton Rouge. I did a little exercise this morning. I said, and I'm going to give a shout out to State Representative Emily Chenevert, who showed me where y'all station was.
Love it.
And so I was like, hey, let me give them a little surprise visit and come in house.
Greatly appreciate
If we win Acadiana, I'd have brought you cracklings and Boudin and all that. But we in BR, so I didn't get to bring it this morning.
See, when Moon brings his show over from Lafayette, we make sure he stops off at Best Stop before he comes in. So, yeah, we hit that up for sure. But no, greatly appreciate having you in. Are you in for the duration? Are you in through the session?
Whatever you need. Oh, well, I'm going to go back and forth. I've got to be in New Orleans today for a little bit. Got an event in Lafayette tonight, and then I'll be back in for the rest of the week.
Part-time job, right?
That's right.
Part-time job.
$16,750, I think, is what it adds up to me.
And the number of people that are going to complain about the per diem. My goodness. All right, Beau, let's start off with we got a session coming up starting on Thursday talking about we're going to push back election days. We're going to get into that in a little bit. I want to start off with how did we get here?
Yeah, so in my previous term, we had redistricting every 10 years. We have to we draw new maps, and we drew a new map for Congress. The result of that map was a 5 Republican, 1 Democrat, 1 minority map that we did. At that time, if y'all remember, it was a big deal. Then Governor John Bell Edwards vetoed that map, and we overrode the veto. And there was some back and forth with the governor at that time. Judge Shelley Dick here in Baton Rouge had ruled that our map was unconstitutional. Obviously, we disagreed with us. She ordered us to draw a new map. We objected to drawing the new map. It went to the Third Circuit. Third Circuit kicks it back to Shelley, to Judge Dick, and we are. There we go.
Yeah, sorry.
Perfect. So, and we found ourselves in a position where, and so pause at that point. Another big item that happens at this point is we get Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, which is obviously a big deal. Having him as Speaker, having Steve Scalise as the number 2 person in the House, it's pretty cool that we're hitting above our belt with those two. So we have a little bit more at stake, and there's a national interest now. Obviously, there's a state interest as well that we want our two folks to continue to shine. So that time also, and if you back up, then Attorney General Jeff Landry was by our side, saying, "Hey, hold the line on this 5-1 map. Hold the line on this 5-1 map." The things changed though, and he becomes governor. Liz Murrow becomes Attorney General, and they say, "Hey, listen, we are in a position now that it's back in Judge Dick's hands. She's already told us to draw a map one time. The legislature has had a couple of opportunities to draw a new map, and refused, and they were worried that if we put it in her hands, that we lose all flexibility on our part, and then we end up fighting a map that she ends up drawing, and thought it was in our best political interest, our best legal interest, the state's best interest, to draw a map that went along with her demands.
Kind of knowingly draw a bad map so that A, you don't get a worse map, and B, you hoping you get to have a re-go at it later.
Yeah, that's kind of the thought there.
The lesser of two evils.
The lesser of two evils, and so we drew that map, and none of us liked being in that position. We were using an analogy at the time, and I still feel like it. We had a political gun to our head, and we were backed into a corner, and we find ourselves now in the hands of the Supreme Court.
Well, you should have heard Moon and Governor Landry fighting about it yesterday, man.
Oh, I bet those two can go round and round.
We're going to have some audio coming up a little later on in the show but Jeff Governor Landry brought up a number of good points about how most of this battle was done before he was governor.
That's true.
And I think that's a big part of the conversation that we seem to forget. Once Shelley Dick got a hold of this thing, there was game, set, match.
Yeah, listen, I want everybody to understand, we have our governor, as in Governor Landry, has, I don't think it's any secret, he's been one of the most conservative proponents of conservative ideals in Louisiana since he took office, even in Congress.
Yeah.
He followed that with him as Attorney General, and if anybody thinks that he's going to turn hat and flip to a different card now as governor, you're sadly mistaken, but he's doing what he thinks is best for the state of Louisiana.
Oh, no, I completely agree. It's just you have two different chapters. You have AG Landry and you have Governor Landry. And we're all looking through the lens of Governor Landry when he had already fought the battle. I think that's where that's where the disconnect has been. That's where I know personally when we're looking at, there was a want, and I know this might be just childish temper tantrum, but there was a want to tell Shelley Dick, go ahead, draw the map. Draw an unconstitutional map. We're going to put this on you and not on us.
That look, in hindsight, that was not in hindsight, but that was an option at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we have hindsight to look back now and say, hey, would that have been a better play? I don't know. So many things could have happened. She could have drawn that map. We could have filed suit on that map, and we could have lost immediately.
Right.
And we would not be in the situation we're in. Again, we're dealing with hindsight. I think we're in a wonderful position where we are right now with the Supreme Court. And look, don't forget, Attorney General Murrow was his Solicitor General while he was AG. So she's not new to this as well. She was involved with it from the beginning as well, and we feel confident in her hands and her team with what they're doing with the Supreme Court. I was fortunate to be able to be there and listen to the oral arguments last week in the Supreme Court, and I think we made some telling arguments, and I'm optimistic that we're gonna find ourselves in an okay seat.
2.5 hours.
It was long. They told us to be ready for. They told us to be ready for an hour, and it was 2.5 hours. I was like, okay, I could eat breakfast this morning. I could
right.
give me a heads
and
up.
then, like the dad before you get in the car for the road trip. If you got to go now because we ain't stopping.
That's right. And you weren't getting out of your seat. It was you didn't want to miss any of it.
We got State Representative Beau Beaulieu in with us. Interesting spectator sport, right?
That's right.
A different kind of spectator sport. Moves forward about as well as LSU's offense, but it's a different kind of. Let's move ahead to Thursday. What are we looking to get done here?
So where we are right now is we don't know what the Supreme Court's going to do. Number one, I had an attorney friend tell me, and I'm not an attorney, just for everyone's knowledge, said if you want to make a fool of yourself, try and predict what a judge or a set of judges is going to tell you in a deliberation. So we're waiting for the Supreme Court to come in and give us their answer. We're trying to buy ourselves time. We feel that there's a lot of attorneys who feel that they're going to probably come back before Christmas and give us some kind of an answer. If they don't come back before Christmas, it's probably going to be June. Why they would come back mid-session, we're not sure, but we think it's either going to be real quick because not just us, but what's going on nationally with redistricting,
right?
Or it's going to probably be June. So this coming back in, we'd like to buy ourselves a little bit more time. We're going to look at pushing the dates back a month for the qualifying. Remember, for the first time, I'm saying 15 years, we have closed primaries in Louisiana to where Congress, your House members, your Senate members of the federal delegation, state Supreme Court, BESI, and PSC, all are going to run in closed primaries.
Right.
That is set to start in April
Mm-hmm.
at the same time as the municipal elections this spring. And so we're looking to move that back instead of an April or May to a May and June, just to buy us a little bit more time. Because we don't know. There's so many unknowns with what they're going to do. We just want to have the most flexibility as the legislature to be able to make some decisions.
Couple different points on this, and I get the we don't know part, and I know there are others will argue, well, if you don't know, why not wait? Well, on the one hand, if you get the desired outcome, you can then pivot. If you don't get the desired outcome, no harm, no foul.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
That's correct. And I think it puts the legislature in the best position to be able to make decisions with whatever they come back with.
One of the things that I've seen brought up, or I've brought up, is if we go to push back our closed primaries, we just adopted closed primaries.
We did.
And now we're going to manipulate when we have those closed primaries. It feels a little like we just made this bed and we already need to lie in it.
Yeah, there's something called the Purcell Doctrine, too, that comes into play here. And this is why we have to come into this special session. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you change an election too close to an election, you can have problems. So we feel that being proactive and letting any candidate know ahead of time, hey, we're pushing this back to May and June, you don't run into that foul. If we wait until, let's say, January to try and push it back, we run into a snag legally. So this is the best way to do it, we believe.
Does the pushing back of an election date change the qualifying date?
It would change the qualifying date, yes.
So it could potentially open up for more candidates who were either on the fence or maybe wanted to bow out.
Yeah, it does. I mean, no different than any other qualifying date. They'll have up until that time.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it's going to push that date back as well.
One of the reasons, and I talked with Representative Meg Placke, who was in here singing your praises last week.
Okay, good. I was about to say something rude about him, but I'll sing his praises.
Oh no, he was all about you last week. That's why I called. I was like, all right, I think I need to get Beau Beaullieu on now.
He's good. He's awesome.
So
he's one of my committee members too.
Yes.
So he's good.
And you're a chair of the committee.
Yes.
So, but I was asking him. I was like, one of the reasons we moved to closed primaries is because people have emotions and people get hurt. When people get beat in a primary, they don't necessarily support their own party in the aftermath. We've seen this a couple times in governor's races. Don't know that we've seen it in a Senate race yet. But we've seen it a couple times in governor's races where you'll lose the consensus. You'll lose that consensus building, and it comes back to bite you in the rear end. By shortening the time between primary and general election, are we running the risk of going back into that hurt feelings scenario?
No, I don't think. I mean, the general election wouldn't be until November, so you still have plenty of time. A lot of other states do it much later in the year. So we were doing it at this time, one, to address that exact concern that you're saying, to mend fences, let's say,
right, between
candidates. But we still would be out of there in June. That still should be plenty of time. And listen, politics is a contact sport, and we have to learn as a state, and I'll speak on the Republican side of things, as a Republican Party, to be able to get over that and get behind whoever it is going to be our candidate. If we're gonna want to operate in a closed primary system, we're gonna have to act like big boys and girls and play ball.
Yes, politics is a contact sport, and we are in a very Republican state. In fact, probably too Republican, because it's Republicans versus Republicans.
Right.
And somehow, if you vote 82% Republican, you're a rhino. I don't know how you're 82% anything and in name only. I don't get that, but that's the way it's described. So, we had a couple minutes left with Beau Beaullieu, State Representative Beau Beaullieu. Want to talk about if we push things back, if everything goes to plan. And by the way, is there more that would be possibly to be brought? I know I'm asking you way too soon. We won't know till things open up on Thursday. But pushing election date back and appropriation to fund a new election date, those would be the two big topics. What else would be on the table here?
If somebody can fit something in the call, they can drop any bill. Nothing that I'm aware of. So from a strategy standpoint, this is all we're planning to do, is pushing the dates back. And I think that's what everybody's interest is. But look, and on the House side, you got 105 reps.
Yeah.
You got 105 different personalities and egos and objectives for their individual district. I'm sure we'll have other bills dropped, but at this point, I'm not aware of anything besides anything that would affect the push.
Well, and the reason I asked that, and I asked it of Representative McMakin as well, is what's the likelihood that we see somebody try to draw a contingency map?
I mean, it could happen. I'm not too confident that it's within the call that we have. I mean, somebody could argue it, but it wouldn't be. It's not out of the realm of possibility that somebody do it, and somebody may do it just to make a point. But I'm not sure where it would get.
All right. Yeah, well, because, I mean, you're talking about a series of if-then statements trying to predict what the Supreme Court's going to do.
I mean, that's the whole point. And we discussed the contingency map till we were blue in the face. I mean, if they throw out our map, that's easy, okay? If they throw out a map, we have a contingency map. But what if they don't throw out our map and they just alter Section 2 in all kind of different ways? It's hard to base a contingency on an unknown outcome of a bunch of judges. So I think you are going to have a tough time with that trigger language on what would allow you to use a contingency map at this point.
Last one before we get you out of here, and thank you again for stopping by this morning.
No, absolutely.
Let's walk through the scenario where everything goes to plan. 2 bills get proposed, 2 bill gets passed. You know, suspend the rules so you can get it done in a couple days instead of over the course of weeks. Everything gets done. Supreme Court comes back in December, sets the scenario for us to draw a new map. Does that mean a January special session for a map?
It could, yes. I mean, it could. I'm not going to speak for the governor.
We have an early
the speaker.
session next year, though, don't we?
We do. So it's a March session.
Yeah.
Beginning of March. I think March would be too late to draw a map. So if there's going to be a proposal for a new map, it'd have to come pretty quick.
Yeah, I would imagine a quick turnaround, so we could see 2026 start off with a special legislative session just to pump out a new map that would hopefully be a lot more geographically centered than what we came out. And I'm talking about congressional districts.
Look. One of my kids said, "Why don't we just box it up, graphically to where it makes sense?" And it's, you got a lot of things that go into those boxing it up and making it make sense geographically.
I understand. But it's like, it's people should be geographically centered more. I've got a lot more in common with the folks around here than in Shreveport, for sure. So, in the meanwhile, he's State Representative Beau Beaullieu. Thank you so much for a couple.
No, thank you all for having me.
Update.
It's been my pleasure.
Absolutely. We got ABC News coming your way right now. Local news on the back end of that. We will check traffic. We will check weather. Sarah Gardner from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation joins us next. Kill him. 736 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Before we get to Sarah Gardner from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation, I need to remind you about the folks over at Mathern's. You'll find them on campus right across the street from Tiger Stadium. And I love telling you about the Tiger Stadium or the Nicholson Gateway location during football season because it is the closest grocery store to Tiger Stadium. So whatever you got going on game day, you set up your tailgate, you're like, oh, we forgot the charcoal. They've got you covered. Or if you want to completely go the pro route, download the Mathern's app, hit up the catering menus, get your whole spread catered. It's awesome. Mathern's also has a location downtown on 3rd Street, which is not too far from the Rivermark Center, which is going to be the new home of the Baton Rouge Area Foundation. So BRAF has a nice home at Mathern's as well. Downtown on 3rd Street, Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center, or back in their OG location, Highland, just west of Kenilworth. It's Mathern's. Sarah Gardner is with the Baton Rouge Area Foundation, joins us now. How are you?
I'm well, thinking about cheese grits now that we started all that Mathern's talk.
Wait, whoa. So you already know.
Oh, no, their cheese grit, their breakfast hot bar, incredible.
Stupid good.
Yeah.
It is
good.
so stupid good.
Got to roll there after this.
Very nice. Gotta love the unsolicited endorsement is always good. New headquarters is opening up later this month.
Correct.
Tell me all about it.
Yeah, so we had for about a decade been at our headquarters of the IBM building, but our staff was growing pretty significantly, and so we needed space that allowed for our growing team, but also created a little more space for our community gatherings, supporting nonprofits. And so over the summer, we've been working with the wonderful team at Walpole to build out a space in the lower level of the Chase South Tower, which is now One Watermark Center. So we've been moving in the past week. And then next week on the 28th, that's Tuesday, we are inviting everybody to come to an open house, 5:15 to about 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Just come check out the new digs, meet our staff, and see what's going on at BRAF.
Next Tuesday evening.
Yep.
And the whole thing will be, y'all be all nice and moved in and ready to roll, or is it be a bit of a transition here?
Pretty moved in. So we've got our furniture in. We've been hanging some art. We get plants in this week. So there's always a little bit that takes to settle in and feel like you're moving at all pistons firing, but we feel pretty good about the office. We've been moving in the past week and really enjoy the space. I think it'll be a great community gathering area.
So let's talk about that specifically, because I've talked with Chris about that. This felt like a no-brainer from the start as soon as the opportunity came up. What helped piece this whole move together?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of collaborations, partnerships that Chris might be able to speak to a little more effectively, but we knew that our staff was outgrowing our current space. We had the opportunity to move into the Rivermark, get a slightly more advantageous rent deal, and really open our area up to the nonprofits we seek to serve. And so Gary Black, Mr. Walpole, they've all been incredible partners. And especially with Plan Baton Rouge 3 going on, we felt it was important to continue to invest in downtown and really stake out that this is a wonderful place to be and a wonderful place to grow.
It's cool seeing Baton Rouge on the move like this. I mean, y'all are moving into y'all's new digs. The Visit Baton Rouge is building out their new digs, which means there's added available space in y'all's wake as well to fill. That's like, it's like a good HGTV show.
Right. LED moved into our old space. So to see them expanding and growing is so cool. It's a great local partnership, state partnership. It's just really exciting to see everybody on the move investing in downtown. And
I didn't even realize that they moved into y'all's old space.
They may still. I can't speak to their move-in schedule, but I know that they were, building it out to suit their needs.
Okay, well, good, even better then.
Yep.
It's already snatched right up. Actually, that's an event next week. And by the way, RSVP, right?
Yeah, it's free to attend, open to the public. RSVPs are appreciated, so we can make sure we're suitably prepared to welcome and greet everybody. You can do that at braf.org/events.
Now, this week, in fact, tonight, if I'm not mistaken, big event tonight.
Correct. Ernest J. Gaines Award for Literary Excellence. So Point Capee native Ernest Gaines, renowned worldwide for his incredible storytelling. For 18 years, the Baton Rouge Area Foundation has issued a literary award for emerging authors who are African-American focusing in fiction. And so that award ceremony is tonight at the Shaw Center, also free and open to the public. Doors open at 6 to the Manship Theater. Programming starts at 6:30. And we will be honoring this year's winner, Essie Chambers, and her novel Swift River.
Have you read Swift River?
I have. I finished it last night.
What's it about?
Okay, so there's a woman named Diamond Newberry who's the only Black girl in her community.
Okay.
Her father was Black, her mother was white, and it really tells a story from 3 different generations. From Diamond's point of view, kind of from 2 points in time. One as a 16-year-old girl, and then 7 years prior when her father disappeared. So you see flashbacks between those 2 points in time. But it's also a generational story where you get to hear from her aunt and her great aunt, really kind of writing letters to each other, and you kind of piece together this interesting and beautiful ancestral story. So interesting coming of age, family relations, generational relationships, complicated human decisions. I thought it was just a really beautiful and moving book. I was
awesome.
Lucky to squeeze it in before the end of the ceremony today.
Very nice. I never read fiction anymore. That's sad.
Yeah, I'm a horrible person in the sense that I tend to read for escapism. I read almost exclusively
Why
fiction.
is that horrible?
Because I feel like I should be reading, business self-help books and all kinds of wonderful grow your brain things. And I just want to live in a dream world of imagination.
The polar opposites here. I want to get where you are and you want to get where I am. So let's do some trading going on. Get you the business books.
Right. We'll do a book swap.
That'll work. We got Sarah Gardner from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation on with us. I want to pivot over to City Stats is about on its way out. And this is the rough part here. I'm a total nerd, and I dig into City Stats from top to bottom, and I will nerd out over numbers all day long. Do we have sneak preview, a tease, if you will?
Yeah, so we're going to tease some of the data for this year. And for those of you who aren't as familiar with City Stats, also in its 18th year, similar to the Gaines Award, this is a data project that BRAF leads every year in conjunction with some of our community partners. We poll 500 people from across the parish, and we ensure that it's demographically representative by gender, race, geographic area. And then we really use some of those questions to assess sentiment around certain quality of life, pace of progress in the parish. How do you feel about the future for children here, financial security? And then we pair that with other nationally or globally polled information. So census data, graduation rates from Department of Education. We pull from a lot of these other hard source data and really combine them into one report that's meant to reflect on what is quality of life looking like in Baton Rouge, and how do people feel about living in the parish every year. So it's really interesting because we have 18 years of data. There are some questions we've asked every single year. We can really track that change in perception. But there are others where we rotate them in based on what feels kind of relevant or new to this moment, so that we can get a good pulse on the moments of now.
So you sent me one, or you sent me a couple, but there's one that's really got me cheesed.
All right, which one?
What makes Baton Rouge great?
Yes.
And we're just going to run it down here. First of all, 10% of people did not answer. That's down from 26% last year. So more engagement, that's a good thing. Okay, we'll start with that.
Yep.
Now let's get to 27% say the people are great. People make Baton Rouge great. 20% say the culture makes Baton Rouge great. 15% says the quality of life makes Baton Rouge great. 13% say the economy. All others would be 4%. And then 11% of respondents said nothing.
Said nothing. And that's actually pretty consistent with last year.
Really?
And believe it or not, we are calling this a little bit of a win. You'd mentioned 26% last year didn't answer at all. And when we asked this question, and it's open-ended.
Right.
So the subject groupings that you just gave are when people said, oh, it's the people from my church, it's my family, it's living near my neighborhood, it's the job that I have. So we've grouped these into these primary areas, and to see that 15% of people who said, I'm not going to answer that question last year, actually chimed in and said, this is something great. And so that 11% saying nothing's great here, and they proactively offered up, there's nothing great about Baton Rouge. Not, I'm not going to answer. They said there's nothing great about this place.
That's my problem.
That's been pretty level.
You couldn't find something. I mean, these 500 respondents, overall 11% would be 55 people, right?
Yep.
You're telling me 55 people couldn't visit Ronnie's Boudin? You're telling me 55 people have never tailgated at LSU? You're telling me 55 people have never done Live After 5? By the way, Mixed Nuts this Friday. But how can you not find anything about that? What kind of level of curmudgeon do you have to be?
I know there's so much to do. There's so much. I mean, I personally am a transplant to Baton Rouge. I'm the only one of me here. All my family's 5 states away, and Baton Rouge has so much to offer that for me it is worth being that far away from my family because of the employment, the friends, the social opportunities. So I'm with you on that one. I feel like that number should be 0, but I think there's some folks who are probably always going to be convinced that, they're hanging under a cloud with Eeyore.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly right. And I'm split on this one, Sarah, because part of me wants to just say, get out. If there's nothing here for you, we can't help you out, boss. But on the other hand, I'm kind of like, okay, who are you? We're going out. We're going to take you out. We're going to show you Baton Rouge now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to convince those 55 people that they are currently wrong. Like, you're just wrong.
Yeah, we should start an event, just like Curmudgeon Friday. Everybody come meet us at 5. We're going to go find something to do
I got
downtown.
wristbands for live after 5. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right.
Mixed nuts are great too. I feel like I'm just.
It's such energy.
I know.
They are. Oh, it's such energy.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah. What are a few of the other highlights that you could tease up right now?
Yeah. So, in addition to asking what makes East Baton Rouge great, one of the things we tend to ask is what could make Baton Rouge better for newcomers? What could help incentivize more people to live here? For the 4th year in a row, that answer was tackle crime, reduce crime. What was interesting about this year, 44% of our respondents noted crime. Yeah. The next closest response was only 9%. We had 3 come in at 9%. Last year, that gap was 15% for second place and like a low 30s, 31, 32 for crime.
Okay.
And so having, 2 times the next closest, say, crime was pretty startling last year. And so this year, say we're 4.5 times our next closest of folks indicating that crime is really top of mind for addressing. We thought that was just even more stark than it was last year. But interestingly, we also ask about civic engagement.
Okay.
What type of groups do you involve yourself with, volunteer with, and participation in crime watch groups dropped the most significantly between last year and this year.
So the number of people who are concerned about crime went up. The number of people who want to do something about crime went down.
Correct.
So it's worse, but I don't want to do anything about it.
Yep. So
that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and it's always hard to assess that kind of causation, correlation.
Oh,
Do people feel like their efforts have not moved the needle significantly, or is there more crime because there are fewer people involved? And chicken egg on that one.
Well, yeah, it because there's so many different factors. Now, with 18 years worth of data under the belt, is there a way to determine perception versus reality here? Like, do the crime numbers follow the people concerned about crime, or vice versa?
Not necessarily.
Right.
And there's always this consideration. So we polled everybody in August, and so we do tend to try and consider what's happening in the news cycle around then. Does it feel like there's been a spike of crime coverage in the news or anything like that? But we've found we do pull crime data from BRPD, homicide rates. So our murders did go up last year from, I think we went from 108 in 23 to 125 in 2024. So we did see an increase there, but we did see a significant decrease in overdose deaths. And so while people tend to say, okay, is crime just murder? There's a lot of illegal drug processing, certain things that could be playing into that. And so it's up and it's down depending on which subset of crime you're looking at.
People process internally that overdose deaths would be considered a crime.
Correct.
So but they do interpret homicide because that's what it is. I do wonder if the timing, you mentioned the timing of the polling. Traditionally, Baton Rouge has been a little bit worse with the homicides over the summer than we are in the fall. So I wonder if there's recency bias built into that as well. Like, oh, this is what's been bad the last month, so this is what's top of mind to me, regardless of the last 12 months.
Yep.
That's all good things. See, that's why I nerd out on stuff like this so bad. Before we get you out of here, and thank you so much for coming by this morning, there's one question on here that I wanted to get to because it affects me personally. Where do you want your kids to live when they grow up? And this is a battle that I'm walking through right now, Sarah, because my oldest daughter is in Hattiesburg, Mississippi right now, and she's blazing her own trail. And I'm torn between the idea of wanting my kids to come home versus wanting my kids to explore the world on their own. Like, it's not about Baton Rouge. It's not about whether or not this is a great city. It's about, like, where do they need to head? As I have a child who's entering this phase, this whole question is evolving with me. and I don't know how to tackle it. How are other people tackling it?
Yeah, so we've got some variation here too, and it's always interesting because if someone is asked, where do you want your child or the children in your household to live when they grow up? You don't know if they're answering at age 19 or age 90.
Mm-hmm.
And what was exciting this year is that the fewest percentage since we've polled this, only 5% said outright they want their kids to leave. And we've had a significant increase in folks saying they want their kids to stay here, but still almost a majority, 40, I think it's 46, 47% said, honestly, I want my child to make that decision. I don't really care. It's up to them. And so I think that shows a lot of faith and autonomy and parents and their children to say, hopefully we can continue to make Baton Rouge a great place and make it somewhere where they want to come back.
Well, if you love something, set it free, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Let them choose to come back.
She is Sarah Gardner with the Baton Rouge Area Foundation. Don't forget, you want to RSVP at braf.org/events for next week's open house. Thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Quick break. When we come back, Jeff Landry and Moon Griffon, they actually they had a fist fight yesterday. Not really, rhetorically.
Okay, well, we can get on the father. I'll get out of your hair so you can record some stuff.
No, I'll
answer emails.
Top of the hour, I will. It's all good. That was really, really good. Chris needs to cut you loose over here. He's awesome as well. I'm in it right now. Like, daughter's a freshman at Southern Miss, and we were, hey, kill Mike's. Baton Rouge keeps America moving, and this fall, Supply Chain Baton Rouge celebrates 5 years strong as the region's premier gathering for logistics, manufacturing, and supply chain innovation. Supply Chain Baton Rouge is coming up on Tuesday, October 28th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Crown Plaza Executive Center. What do you get at Supply Chain Baton Rouge? Local leaders, experts in supply chain management and logistics. This is the fifth one, like we said. This is a day of networking, a day of insight, a day of education that keeps you ahead and accelerates your business potential. This is Louisiana's premier supply chain event. How do you get tickets? You hop on Eventbrite and look up Supply Chain Baton Rouge. Search Supply Chain Baton Rouge on Eventbrite. Breakfast and lunch are included, so it's an after party at Tio Javi's. Supply Chain Baton Rouge. Oh, redistricting session is coming up day after tomorrow. We had State Representative Beau Beaullieu in talking about it. Yesterday, Governor Jeff Landry was on with Moon Griffon, and those two just got scrappy, y'all. One of the points of contention was, why did we so quickly adapt to a new map if you never defended the old map? And this is something I was talking with Representative Beaullieu about, was I keep compartmentalizing Governor Landry as Governor Landry, forgetting that before he was Governor Landry, he was Attorney General Landry. And these are two things that don't exist in a vacuum when it comes to the map, because he has been Attorney General since the last census, right? Since the last time we have just had to start talking about redistricting. Moon got into him yesterday and straight up said, you never did defend the old map. Cut two.
We never defended the district. Hold on. We never defended the district that we had. And that's what pissed me off.
Did.
No, we never did. We didn't go to court. We didn't go to court March 4th to defend it. When?
Listen,
when did we defend it?
Listen, we did. When I was Attorney General. Listen, when I was Attorney General, I litigated all of those cases. I mean, one day I can go and I can take an hour or 2 hours on your show, and I can walk you through the plethora of cases, some of which we won and some of which we lost, which was this case. This case went all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. They sent it back to us. We tried to defend it again. The Fifth Circuit struck it back down. Judge Dick. Look, the Middle District is the most you just assume take the Middle District and send it to the Ninth Circuit, Moon. That's what you failed to go back to. And look, it's hard because you got to live and breathe it to understand it. But I can walk you through demonstrable facts under which we had a gun to our head.
Metaphorically speaking. It was a metaphorical gun. One more. What would have happened if we would have done nothing?
What would have happened had we done nothing? What do you think? They'd have put y'all in jail?
What would have happened? No, I'm going to tell you what would have happened. Had we done nothing, she would have drawn two minority majority districts, and she probably would have decimated Mike Johnson's district. And then we'd have gone up to the Supreme Court, and they would have upheld it. And guess what? The case that is before the country right now would have never made it there, Moon.
The rest is available in the Moon Griffon podcast at talk1073.com, courtesy of Lake Urgent Care. Hour 3's next. All right, I got to go cut one more spot. I got to cut a lot more spots, but I'm going to cut one more right now. no idea what I'm singing right now. Not a clue, huh? Right genre, right time frame.
It's not, no, probably not.
Huh?
Who would it be?
Well, I'm Roro coming in third. Now it's about that time that I get heard. None of my rhymes don't ever be swerved. Word to her, play tricks on your nerves. Nothing?
Ooh.
Nothing? Nope. Everything I serve is so superb.
Drawing a blank, sir.
.806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Coming to you live from the 180 Pros studio in downtown Baton Rouge. Brian here with you, JP producing. Got a busy third hour for you this morning. Meg Placke's at the house. We'll be talking Book Festival, Louisiana Book Festival in our next segment. Congressman Troy Carter on the hotline, 835. Little DC Current presented by LABI. But you know how we do before we get into any of it. We'll start off hour number 3. Thanks to the folks over at 5 Star Printing and Science, start off hour number 3 with this day in history. Back in time.
All right. 1774.
Yeah?
First display of the word liberty on a flag raised by colonists.
I'm sorry, 1774 was the first display of the word skibbity?
Skibbity toilet.
Liberty?
Riz.
Liberty or skibbity? Which one did you have?
Skibbity? Skibbity.
Liberty. Okay.
Of course, Brian. Liberty.
That's so much better.
Way better.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't in 1967. 67.
Oh, no.
I know.
No.
Ugh. That's where we're starting, man.
I know.
Ugh. Yuck.
All right, first display of the word liberty where?
On a flag raised by colonists in Taunton, Massachusetts.
Okay.
In defiance of British rule in colonial America.
Love that.
So, yeah.
Love that.
No kings, man.
Suck it, Britain.
Oh, that's right. 1917. First Americans to see action on the front lines of World War I, where U.S. troops enter front lines under French command.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
that happened today.
Yeah.
Fast forwarding all the way to 1997.
Whoa, how'd you go that far up?
I know.
No, because this day in 1959,
What was 59?
The Guggenheim opened.
The Guggenheim.
Designed by Frank Lloyd Wright.
Ooh.
And the parking structure was designed by Art Vandelay.
Okay. Art Vandelay. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
All right. Vandelay Industries.
You had me the first half.
I know. This day in 1960, John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon squared off on a televised debate.
Oh, that they did.
Why are you sweating, bro?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a direct quote.
No, but, you know.
But that's why Nixon lost. That in Chicago.
There was that.
All right, you fast forwarded to where?
1997. Elton John's Candle in the Wind 97 was declared by the
dear
Guinness
God.
Book of World Records, Brian, as the biggest selling single of all time. Can you believe that?
Yeah, sadly I do.
Candle in the Wind.
No.
Come on, man.
Not at all.
Man, 38.8 million in sales, less than 40 days, and raising more than 20 million pounds for charity. Anyway, hey, keeping music, 2001 United We Stand benefit concert for September 11th terrorist attack victims is held at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. So there was that. A lot of big-time acts there. 2016, Leonard Cohen released his last album, You Want It Darker, 17 days before his death.
Really?
That's a haunting album. I don't know if you've listened to Leonard Cohen since his Hallelujah days.
No.
But yeah, that was a wow. That was a really dark album.
Okay.
And in 2021, actor Alec Baldwin shoots cinematographer Helena Hutchins dead.
Oh my goodness
Today,
gracious!
yeah, was that day.
Did
So,
not realize that at all.
It was done with a prop gun during the rehearsal of a film, of course.
Well,
Rust,
yeah.
which was released. It ended up
Baffles
releasing.
me.
Yeah, haven't watched it, but yeah, definitely has been released. Anything else on this day?
Not that I've got.
Birthdays. Judge Judy today.
Sure, why the hell
Judge
not?
Judy. We're gonna start there. Carrie Fisher.
Okay.
Go with that. Let's see. Man, I got a Kardashian. I got Kim Kardashian today. And Doja Cat. I know, man. Please save me. Do you have anybody else on that side?
How about Benjamin Netanyahu?
Yeah, why don't we go there?
Then we'll go there, okay?
He's
How
not
about-
even in the top 20 on this list.
How about Dizzy Gillespie?
Okay.
Can we get him in the mix
Yeah,
here?
let's throw him in. Why not? I mean, oof.
Yeah.
You know what? I got Whitey Ford.
We can roll with that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Shout out.
Oh, man. Let's see. Moving on to deaths.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody?
Oh,
besides
I do. I've got a
Horatio
really
Nelson?
big one. I got a big one, and it is local as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Jim Garrison.
Jim Garrison?
Yeah.
Wow. What year did he pass away?
He passed away on. Hang on. Scrolling back up.
Okay.
October 21st, 1992.
92. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only guy to bring the Kennedy assassination conspiracy to trial. On March 1st, 1967, New Orleans District Attorney Jim Garrison arrested Clay Shaw on the charge of conspiracy to assassinate President John F. Kennedy. Precisely 2 years later, Shaw was acquitted. Of course, the Oliver Stone movie starring Kevin Costner as Jim Garrison. Also, I believe starring Jim Garrison as the judge. Or was he Earl Warren?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jim Garrison had a small role in JFK. I want to say he played Earl Warren. I could be wrong about that. Either way,
Yeah, good stuff.
Either way, Jim Garrison passed on this day in 1982.
Well, as far as national days go, Back to the Future Day. It's kind of apropos with the music there. I know.
I thought Back to the Future Day was November 5th.
I don't know. Yeah, according to National Today, throw on your Nikes, pop in a VHS, and rev up your DeLorean because October 21st is Back to the Future Day. First celebrated in 2015, a significant year for serious fans. I guess I'm not that serious of a fan. Because,
Okay,
yeah.
so travel. Oh, okay. No. I know why. Okay, it's not where he traveled to the past. That was November 5th, 1955.
Yeah.
He traveled to the future, October 21st, 2015.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. There we go.
That's in part 2. All right.
Right. Like that.
Yeah. 812 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Hey, before we take our first break of the hour, I want to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust, neurojust.com. You'll find them on Bluebonnet in real life, but I recommend you hit them up at neurojust.com first to learn more about them. Who am I talking to here? Anybody who's battling with anxiety or depression or has a loved one who is battling with anxiety and depression. If you are in that battle, you know it's like a constant, the choppy seas, the rough 6-foot waves battling around in your head. If you are proven to be treatment resistant or just want to give this path a look because it's non-invasive, FDA approved, and there are no side effects, they specialize at Neurojust in transcranial magnetic stimulation. This uses magnetic pulses to stimulate areas of the brain involved in mood regulation. They have an 80% response rate, up to a 70% full remission rate. Like we said, no systemic side effects. It doesn't impact sleep, weight, or energy like traditional meds do. You can start noticing improvements in the first 2 weeks. Give them a look online. Neurojust, neurojust.com. Okay. All I've got left is my promo for tomorrow's show. Come on in, Meg. How are you? Okay. Oh, shoot, I never wrote that down on here. Placke. ready for the fall sports stand. Wait, do I? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that? Rolling over to 817 to Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hey, don't forget Ken Trahan's Original. Talk 107.3 is your new home for Ken Trahan's Original Prep Football Report. Get live in-game updates, a full statewide scoreboard, and check-ins with correspondents from every corner of the state. Friday nights this fall from 6 to 11 p.m., Ken Trahan's Original Prep Football Report, presented locally by Dr. Pepper and the Harold Perkins Jr. Tuition Program on Talk 107.3 FM. And yes, we did clear up the bugs from last weekend. All right, we have got the Louisiana Book Festival coming up, not this weekend, but I believe the one after that. Yes. November 1st, Saturday, November 1st, is the 2025 Louisiana Book Festival. Joining us now to talk about it is our state librarian, Meg Placke. Meg, welcome back. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Glad to have you on to be talking about this. I love that we have a book festival.
Yes.
And we need to get on the lieutenant governor. Because, no, he's got this, he's been saying everywhere he goes, he's like, if you can catch it, if you can kill it, if you can eat it, if you can dance to it, we have a festival for it. He needs to include if you can read it.
I know,
if you
exactly.
can read it. So, Billy Nungesser's
I'll
people.
talk to him about it.
Add on to that one right there, because we do have a book festival. I want to roll back the whole clock here. Who decided to have a book festival?
Thanks for asking me that. Because I really, again, too, I was not at the state library when they decided that. That was, the first festival was in 2002. 02.
Okay.
Yes. So I think it was the state librarian there was Tom Jaques.
Okay.
And so
well, it's such an unusual, because normally, when you think festival, you think like the Strawberry Festival or Jazz Festival or whatever. But books, it's like, we're going to make this lively and we're going to make this real and we're going to bring a whole lot to life out of this. It was out of the box thinking that brought it. And where we've gone from 2002 to this year has just been phenomenal.
Yes. Yes. Again, too, I mean, it's grown so much. But I mean, just think about it. We have so many such a great literary culture here. We have so many authors, I mean, why not? I mean, celebrate all of the great writers, readers, everybody that we have here.
Absolutely. Now it's coming up on November 1st. If you are an author and you're not already, what's the selection process like? How do you get involved with that?
Well, again, we do have, it's very hard because, I mean, we have to narrow it down kind of. We have over 200 authors and it's hard to fit that into one day.
I would imagine.
But again, so we try to stick to a thing where the book has to have been published within the year.
Okay.
Sometimes, it happens where something happens or comes up, and so we'll have them the next year. But we do try to have it within the year. And again, it's like, we have a lot of friends and all in the publishing world and everything. And, they let us know who has stuff coming out, who's going to be there, and we try to schedule and get as many as we can.
200 authors is a lot.
That's a lot.
It's hard to believe that much content, that many books are generated.
So much.
Right from right here in Louisiana.
Yeah.
That's We're talking with Meg Placke, state librarian, about the upcoming Louisiana Book Festival. I'm not going to dig in with 200 authors. I'm not going to pepper you for everyone who's in there. But walk us through a little bit about, we're talking fiction, nonfiction, we're talking biographical, we're talking history. It's
we actually this year, I will sit there and say we kind of, for some reason, in some years we are a little bit heavier towards. This year it seems to be we're a bit heavier towards like biographies, autobiographies, some horror, which fits given that we're right around Halloween. So it's going to be a great festival. I mean, we have just a ton of people, and for every age. We have a lot of great children's and teen authors come in. Some of our, we have the Louisiana Reader's Choice Program awards, where the kids, the students, K through high school, they pick their favorite book or author for the year.
Okay.
So we have award ceremonies, and we do have our award winners and honor book authors coming for that. So we have a lot of stuff for everybody.
Very, very cool stuff. We're talking with Meg Placke about the upcoming Louisiana Book Festival, going to be on November 1st. Now, we got to talk logistics here a little bit, because we learned yesterday that so normally the book festival is held right outside the state capitol, but this year there's going to be work going on inside the state capitol. So there's some logistical concerns, or if it was right in front of them.
We've pivoted. Pivoted.
What's the pivot look like?
We are still in the same. We are at the State Library, the State Museum, like North 4th, Spanish Town, in front of the Capitol. We're just going to be shifting a little bit away to AZ Young Park.
Okay.
And putting out more tents. We've also, lucky enough, some of the buildings around us that we don't usually use, but Bienville has been nice enough to offer us some rooms, so we'll be in the Bienville building as well.
Okay.
So it'll be the same in the same area,
right.
Just we won't have the inside of the Capitol.
Okay, very cool. And there will be business probably going on. I don't know if they're going to be there on a Saturday, but
I mean,
you got to prepare for it. To
yes,
be sure.
Be prepared, and there might be a little bit of change in the parking.
Walk us through the typical book festival, what the day looks like, how it kind of spells itself out.
Well, we start, it's a 9 to 4, it's a full day. Like I said, we have so many authors. So I think our biggest complaint is that people can't go to see all of the authors that they want to.
Yeah.
They're all going at the same time. But, I'm sorry. Putting on this festival is a massive effort.
No, well, but you want it to be like that, though.
We do. We do want it to be like that. It's a very big effort, and it's a great day. We start at 9, and this year we are actually starting with a very special event because the State Library is celebrating our 100th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, 100.
Everybody's celebrating. Okay, so United Way celebrating their 100th birthday. Capital Area United Way celebrating their 100th birthday.
Yes.
Y'all are celebrating your 100th birthday starting in 2026 or the beginning of 2026. It's our 100th birthday guarantee. So, like, a lot of centennials going on in Baton Rouge now.
Yes, and actually, I mean, it worked out perfectly because our actual, when the State Library opened officially was November 1st, 1925.
Oh.
So the book festival hit right
down to
day.
the day.
Yes,
Very
right
nice.
in the day. So we will have a special birthday celebration to open the festival. We usually start with the Louisiana Writer Award ceremony, but this year we're changing it up a little bit, given the fact that it is our 100th birthday. So we're going to have, just a special event on our State Library steps to open the festival.
Okay. And then after things open up, what does it look like?
Again, there's just authors and talks everywhere. so again, you got to, we do have a scheduled lineup that has been put out on our website. It's on louisianabookfestival.org, and you can go there and see. We have it again. We have all the authors, where they're going to be, what times, from 9 to 4.
And this is what I love about it is you can go and hear from individual authors when they're speaking, but there's a lot of one-on-one time here as well.
Yes, we do have, again, all of the authors that are speaking also have their books. We have a bookseller tent run by Cavalier House. They're great. The Cavaliers will be selling the books, and then you can get them signed, have a little, run-in with, talk with the authors right there. That's the great thing about our festival. Our festival is big, but it's also small.
Yes.
It's an intimate. You can get to see your favorite authors. It's great.
It's as one-on-one as you want it to be.
Yes.
To be sure. What about other than authors? There's other exhibitors out there. You can't
Yes.
do Louisiana without a little food and drink. I mean, so take me through everything else that's going
We
on.
do have, again, we will have food lining up as always, our concessions, our merchandise tent. We have a wonderful art piece done by a Pineville artist, Matt Dawson.
Okay.
And then it's amazing. It's amazing. He really took the piece, we just kind of said, would you do some art for us for this festival?
I like
it.
it.
He took it. It's great. He incorporated a lot of, again, Louisiana landmarks into it, including a lot of Louisiana libraries. So,
Really?
Interesting Louisiana libraries, and then books. Like I said, if you go to the website, you can see it.
I'm curious because I'm trying to think of where, just offhand, do you know of any that would be incorporated in this? Like, who has an interesting library? Our Goodwood location in Baton Rouge is probably a pretty great library, but
we went with kind of more of the older libraries.
Okay.
The older, like we have a Jennings Carnegie Library in Jennings. Franklin Parish has an older library. Milton Ladder, New Orleans. So there are again, you'll be able to recognize some landmarks, and then he does have a key on it as well.
hang on. I'm walking through this in my mind in real time, and I might be completely wrong. But y'all are celebrating your 100th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Capital Area United Way is celebrating its 100th anniversary. Isn't the Capital Area United Way's headquarters the former state library?
I don't think so.
I'll ask George Bell about that. He would know that one for sure.
You can see we have an exhibit of all the state library history.
Okay.
The state library history, of course, too, the really awesome thing that the first state librarian started, Essie Culver, was the first. She came here from California, and she was like, this is such a bookless state. There were only 5 libraries in the state at the time.
Really?
Yes. So what they set out to do from 1940 to 1968, they went out and demonstrated public libraries throughout the state.
Mm-hmm.
And so from that time, then they sat there and said, okay, here, locals, do you want to keep this library? Here, this is what you need to do. We've shown you how to run it. Now this is how you keep it. And so now today we have 68 public library systems and 340 libraries in the state.
Very, very cool stuff. Okay, I have been officially corrected. It was a library, but it was a Baton Rouge library. So shout out Paul Arrigo, resident historian. He always makes sure I'm on the right path there. But yes, the United Way building was a library, just not the state library. We got Meg Placke in with us for a couple more minutes to talk about the upcoming Louisiana Book Festival. Going to be Saturday, November 1st. LouisianaBookFestival.org. Spell the whole thing out, LouisianaBookFestival.org, if you want to learn more. For folks who have never been before, give us like the kind of quick and dirty. What are some of the cheat codes, if you will, for showing up and making sure you're making the most of your time?
Oh, man. You're asking me the hard question.
I'm not.
I think all of it's worth your time.
Well, of course.
I mean, again, we have Wally Lamb coming back, Oprah Book Club winner, New York Times bestselling author. We have Marcel Bienvenu, who I guess, we have a chef. We have a cooking demonstration tent, everybody. So if you want to get samples and see chefs, we have Marcel Bienvenu. We have Chef Celeste, our local chef. She's put out a cookbook. So there's a lot of that. Again, a lot of eating, drinking. The children's, amazing. We have this storyteller tent.
Yes.
So you can, just hear a bunch of amazing children's storybooks. It's great.
Marcel Bienvenu, of course, author of Who's Your Mama? Are You Catholic? And Can You Make a Roux? Which, if you live in Louisiana and you don't have that cookbook, fix that.
That was the first cookbook I got.
Yeah, either that or River Road. It was going to be one of the two.
Exactly.
But yeah, if you don't have that one, go ahead and get up to the Louisiana Book Festival and fix that on November 1st. So my advice is to make it small. When you go out there, find something. You 200 authors, you're going to find someone you like along the way. You're going to find a book that you have not read yet, that you have not heard of, that you are going to be interested. So hit the website first, read up on the books, read up on the authors a little bit. Our good buddy Jeremy White's going to be one of the authors that's out there as well. But read up on it first and then find them once you get there. You can make that level of connection right there. She is Meg Placke with the Louisiana Bookshelf State Librarian. Talk about the Louisiana Book Festival. Thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. We're coming up on news at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. On the back end of news, let's talk about this government shutdown. I tell you what, Congressman Carter's got some time on his hands. What's he reading these days, right? Before we get to the news, though, got to remind you that, starting Thursday night, get a preview of the 2025-2026 LSU women's basketball team as Coach Kim Mulkey and the Tigers host Mississippi College in an exhibition game Thursday. Coverage begins with pregame at 6:30. Tip-off is at 7. Your home for LSU women's basketball is right here on Talk 107.3. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's y'all's fall sports schedule look like? Does Gus do everything?
Football. So Jason's been coaching too. So Gus is doing football and is doing swim. So we have, something, and then he's doing basketball too.
So we just signed up for basketball.
doing
I'm going to be
basketball
coaching again. I don't know if they're going to mix it up or leave the same kind of, because I think everybody's back in.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're going to mix it up a little bit. We'll probably
Yeah.
go in for a draft again.
yeah. Jason will probably, be coaching again too. Yeah.
Basketball's so tough because James has all the skill sets.
James still going by Jimmy?
Depends on who. He's got all the skill sets, but he's just so not aggressive.
I swear, I think that's that class.
Is it?
Because Gus likes to look good. He doesn't like to actually like.
Well, I don't know. There's like.
Well, there's like one or two kids that really are aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. I won't mention
Murphy! Yeah.
We all know.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Meg. Appreciate it. Oh. I wasn't completely off. It was the Baton Rouge Library. Dadgum, dude. Tomorrow's lineup. Oh. If I don't have legally served tomorrow, that's not a problem. I could just book one more interview and be done. Why am I talking to Brett Bear tomorrow? I'm asking T-Roy. Oh, shit, are we up already? Hey, there's my press kit for Bread Bear tomorrow. $8:37, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Talk 107.3 and Duplessis Pool Builders are giving away a dream pool. Every $25 donation supports dreams come true, granting wishes for Louisiana kids with life-threatening illnesses, and gets you entered to win. Where do you enter? Talk1073.com. By the way, donate $100. You will get 5 entries, courtesy of the folks over at Dreams Come True. I'm sorry, Duplessis Builders on behalf of Dreams Come True. All right, it's time for DC Current. Let's go. Joining us now, as he does every Tuesday, Congressman Troy Carter. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you on this beautiful Tuesday morning?
Got to tell you, that temperature dips just down just a little bit. It gets really, really nice. Let's talk with Jeff Crouere in the first hour. He's down in New Orleans, of course. And this is like the greatest time of year in New Orleans, right? It's when the temperature starts to dip. It's what Alan Toussaint sung about with Southern Nights. It's like you could taste it in the air.
Absolutely. It's the best time of the year.
We've got business to tend to, Congressman Carter, so let's get down to it. Where are we at on the shutdown?
Unfortunately, we are entering day 21.
Mm-hmm.
Day 21 of a shutdown that, by my estimation, particularly, it was an unnecessary shutdown. Listen, legislative bodies, members of Congress, we are a deliberative body, a body that requires compromise, debate, deliberation. And heretofore, we just haven't had that. We can't have, my way or the highway politics. In the deliberative body, we have to negotiate. We have to talk. The Senate yesterday at 5:30 took another vote, the same vote that they take every single day, but they haven't changed one period, one comma, one phrase, one policy point. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. Until we're able to sit down and talk about the differences between the parties on this budget, we're going to continue to have the exact same outcome. But respectfully, we cannot do this until our Republican counterparts join us at the table. We have to, right, wrong, or otherwise, we have to all agree to disagree and to sit down and find ways to hammer out a resolution. Because ultimately what happens when that does not happen, the American people suffer. TSA workers show up to work without being paid. Air traffic controllers are challenged and aren't being paid. Our military who are protecting our flanks at home and abroad aren't being paid. Not to mention the countless amount of Americans across the country who can't access critical needs or services of the federal government because they're either shut down or under mask. Their websites are down. We can't get phone calls through. This isn't a way to govern. And we owe it to the American people to get back to the table, negotiations, and get our government open and functioning.
Okay, we're talking with Congressman Troy Carter's DC Current presented by LABI. Congressman, why not put the ball back in the Republicans' court and say, if y'all will only negotiate once the government's open, let's open the government, and now let's make sure you actually negotiate?
Well, because the problem that you have with that is we've been duped before. You know, you can only dupe me so many times. We've tried that before, and unfortunately, sometimes the only hook you have is to exercise your authority to negotiate. You know, it's kind of like, give me a ride and then we'll talk about it. You take the ride and then see you later, Charlie. We just can't keep going down that road. We've done it before, and we've lost out. When all things are fair, you can negotiate that way. It's like putting your credit card down, and it works 3 times. On the 4th and 5th time, it doesn't. When you go back on the 6th time, they probably aren't going to give you goods or services because your credit isn't good anymore.
Got Congressman Troy Carter with us. Hey, another part of this, Congressman, is the negotiating points, specifically when it comes to health care, is just one item. The government overall is so many more items.
That should make it even easier. It's
right.
One item. It's one item, and that one item, here's the real catch for this, and this should be very interesting to you and the viewers. This one item the Democrats are fighting for benefits Republicans and Democrats. Mm-hmm. The ACA tax credits. These are tax credits that help people who barely make too much money to get Medicaid, but make way too little money to afford to pay for their own insurance. This meets them in the middle. These are working families across our country, black, white, Republican, independent, of all races and backgrounds. It will be different. This is not something Democrats are fighting solely and specifically for Democrats. We're fighting for something that impacts Americans in every single congressional district in Louisiana will benefit from an extension of the ACA tax credits. Working people who go to work every day but will find themselves with exponential increases on their health care if these tax credits expire. Now, my colleagues say, well, I'll tell you what, we'll extend it for 1 year. And I said, wait a minute. Why are we going to extend it 1 year when we extend tax credits to the richest rich, tax breaks to the richest rich permanently? But tax credits for our tipped employees, only for 2 years, only up to $24,000. Tax credits for our working people for health care, you won't extend for 1 year. But again, I'll go back. Tax credits for the richest rich, permanently, not 2 years, not 1 year, a permanent tax credit. Come on, we got to be fair to the American people, and we've got to give them something. And this is something that benefits Republicans and Democrats.
We got Congressman Troy Carter with us. This is DC Current, presented by the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry, your state's Chamber of Commerce. Congressman, what is it? Oh, so how do we get to talking? I think that.
And let me tell you just for a second, because you just said something that's very important when you mentioned Chamber of Commerce. You know who are impacted by this more than almost anybody else? Small business owners. Small business owners that make up the chambers of commerce across our country. Small business owners will be hit on the butt harder than anybody else, will be knocked on their butts rather, harder than anyone else by the ACA tax credit expiration. Because small business owners depend on, probably larger than any other group out there, on ACA tax credits to make up their health care.
And that's a fair point, actually. That is a very good point, is that that is who would be leaning on it to fit in that window, right? That window that is not below the number and not super above the number either.
Yeah, they fall right in the middle. You know, it's like you help those who are poor, you help those who are rich. What about most people that live somewhere in the middle there? You know, they go to work every day and they work, but they still are short. But they make too much money to get any benefit from Medicaid. Mm-hmm. But then when they go to pay for their health insurance, they don't make enough to pay for it. And we have to have more programs that help our middle class, people that are in the middle who are going to work every day, struggling to survive. And this is a perfect example of something that demonstratively helps people of all backgrounds who fall right in the middle of the economic spectrum, notwithstanding what party they're in.
Okay, how do we get back to talking? Because that's and I
I think we get back to talking by taking away the vitriol, by making it plain, as I try to do. To say, guys, listen, this is not personal. Let's get away from the name calling. Let's get away from the Republican hate Democrat, Democrat hate Republican kind of jargon. You know, the American people are tired of that crap. Let's get back to how we're gonna solve the problems of the American people. You know, and when things go right, we all get credit. The reverse is also true. When things fail, we all get dinged for it. So let's stop the name game. Let's stop the holding the ball because I didn't get my way. And let's all say, forget all that trash. Let's go back to work tomorrow. Let's work this out. Let's debate. That's what Congress does. The pillars of power require deliberation, compromise, negotiation. That's what congressional bodies do. That's what legislative bodies do. We don't kick rocks when we don't get away and take our ball and go home. Come back to the table.
This is a part of the discussion that is emblematic of other parts of our dysfunction in government right now, Congressman, and that is that the person who does that, I feel like all too often in our news bite society, in our play to your base society, compromises views as weakness.
And you know what? And that's a shame, because I will tell you, until President Trump became president, the first time and now, we had a much more robust discussion about bipartisanship. It now appears that this president, and it's not my words, it's his word, who says, let's do it without the Democrats. We don't want the Democrats' help. Well, that's ridiculous, man, because he's the president of America, not president of Republicans. You know, I'm a congressman from Louisiana, and I represent a majority Democratic district. But guess what? I represent my Republican colleagues, constituents as well. I don't just say, "Oh, you're not in my party. I'm not going to help you with your Social Security. I'm not going to help you with your passport. I'm not going to help you with your issue of whatever. No, man, I represent everyone that lives within my district. And guess what? Even beyond, if I can, because that's our jobs. Our jobs are not just to represent people who voted for us or who vote like us. Our jobs are bigger than that. And the better and the sooner we get to a point that we understand that we're statesmen, that we are elected to serve the people, not the people we agree with. We don't always agree with our wives, our loved ones, our children, our parents. But we have a responsibility to the Constitution of this great country and to the people of this great country to serve them and to do what's in their best interest. We cannot do that if we're retreating to respective corners.
Speaking of serving them, and I want to get to this before we run out of time, Congressman, speaking of serving, and the meanwhile, while the shutdown's going on, you've been bringing some food to TSA.
Yeah, the workers of TSA, unfortunately, are being made to show up to work, and they aren't being paid. Air traffic controllers aren't being paid. So I started last week saying, you know what, they're going to miss a paycheck. I'm going to make sure they don't miss a meal. And while I know a meal does not in any way substitute a paycheck, it's a small token of appreciation to let them know that we care. Mm-hmm. And this is just a small token to say, hey, listen, hang in there. We know you're working under extreme circumstances, many of which are not being able to take their vacations that were planned, are not getting to take their breaks at their regular times. The airports are still packed. They're still there. And it's tough to have to go to work, even when you're picking up a check, let alone when you go to work and you're not getting one. So this is, we've been, yesterday we did red beans and rice.
Uh-oh.
Today we'll do.
Wait. Is that Congressman Carter? Is that Troy firing up the stove? Or
No, man, I can't. No.
Come on. You got time.
Look, man, I could make a mean pot of red beans, but I can't make it for that. Look, I come from a big family, so I usually make big pots, but not enough to feed the 100.
All right. Well, yesterday was red beans. Obviously, yesterday was red beans. It was Monday. What you got today?
Yes, and so today we'll have poor boy sandwiches.
Okay.
We'll have ham and cheese, roast beef, turkey sandwiches, and then we'll go the every other day we'll do a sandwich, then a hot plate.
Love it.
So, and it's completely free. It's a small gesture. It sends a message that, hey, listen, hang in there. We're doing everything in our power. Hopefully, the shutdown will be over soon. I will tell you this: that shutdowns have never ever proven to be a good strategy.
Nope.
Every single time there's been a shutdown, it's hurt the American people. It's hurt the government. It's hurt our goodwill. Not to mention, it's hurt our purse. The last time we had a shutdown was 35 days. And it cost the taxpayer $11 billion.
He is Congressman Troy Carter. D.C. Currents brought to you by LABI. Congressman, we will talk to you next week. I always appreciate your time, sir.
God bless you, my friend. Have a fantastic week.
You do the same. Quick break. We'll close it out next. All right. Beau Beaulieu is going to be the featured. What to expect of the special session. All right. Brett Baer. Okay. Is anybody even still on Facebook Live? That's just I've been completely non-existent today. I got everything done though. I never did. What did I have here? I never printed my LRN stuff. Shit! What did I have written down here? White House, LRN, 10, 11, 12. Oh, was that the light that just unplugged? Five-Star Printing and Signs, 271-4096. My guy Danny and his team, they're ready to make sure that your business is getting noticed. Is your business getting noticed? Is your business card, your brochure, your actual signage, is it worth being remarked upon? Is it starting conversation? If not, you might need a refresh. You might need an upgrade. Five-Star Printing and Signs is here for you. Oh, by the way, they do vehicle wraps now too. Danny has, and you know he's not gonna do it unless he's gonna do it right. Danny dove in and got everything lined up to just be, an absolute power in the Baton Rouge area when it comes to making sure your branding is out there, your name is out there, your business is front and center. If you're out of sight, you're out of mind. This is what Danny does. 271-4096. He brings you back front and center. Whether you're talking about a business card, whether you're talking about putting your logo on merch, whether you're talking about wrapping your vehicle, he gets it done. 271-4096 for Five-Star Printing and Signs. LSU baseball made the trip up to the White House yesterday. Pretty cool stuff. A little 30-minute ceremony over there in the East Wing. I don't know if the sounds of the bulldozers in the background knocking things down to build out the ballroom were affecting things, but Donald Trump did praise the LSU Tigers and the pilots of LSUS. He noted that many LSU players drafted by major league teams following the College World Series win.
10 players of this elite squad are now headed to even greater glory in the Major League Baseball. I think you're going to do all right. I would like to represent every single one.
LSUS, by the way, don't let that get overlooked in this conversation. They ran the table, 59-0. The Tigers were 53-15 en route to their 8th College World Series title. Donald Trump says with so many future major leaguers on the team, 53-15 might not have been up to par.
I've never seen a team with so many people being drafted into the major leagues. It cannot be a bad team. In fact, I think your record should have been better.
By the way, everything starts at the top, right? And Donald Trump made mention of that, especially when it comes to both coaches.
I watch Major League Baseball and other sports, and they keep hiring the same coaches over and over again, right? They get fired, then they hire them again. I'd hire these two guys, but I don't want to take them away from your school, so I'm only kidding. Just pretend.
Interestingly enough, he said that 2 days after Tennessee Volunteers head baseball coach got hired by the San Francisco Giants. I mean, the moment that happened where somebody stepped outside of the box to hire somebody new, but he makes a good point, though. You see the round table, if you will, Tony Vitello being the exception, not the rule. All right, we got to get out of here, y'all. Moon Griffon is coming up next. Tomorrow, Richard Sprinkle will be in for Franz Borghardt for Legally Served. Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple on the hotline at 7:15. We'll get an update on Breck from Janet Simmons. We will talk Thrive EBR with Dr. James Gilmore and Zach Kilshaw. And, oh, by the way, how do you renew the American spirit? Brett Baer will join us at 8:40. Got a full lineup for you, already ready to rock and roll tomorrow. That's going to do it for us today. Stick around. Moon Griffon is next. Hopefully he isn't throwing more haymakers at the governor today. Who knows? We'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys, I will see y'all on the morrow.